Okay, this is the help video to go through Foundation Homework 1. The idea with this is that you can watch the video, give yourself help and then improve week on week. Just a clever way to get on top of some of the trickier topics that catch people out. So let's get straight into it. We've got coaches take people to a festival. Each coach can take 50 people. From one city there are 820 people. How many coaches are needed? So it's just a worded problem, but it's a simple division. We've got 820 people. Each coach can take 50, so 50 into each. Doesn't go, carry over 1. And we've got 32 left. 50 goes into that 6 times. Going into a decimal. Write our next 0. Carry the 2, 520, doesn't go. 0, carry again. But actually, don't need to go that far. It doesn't go into it exactly because we're going to have a few left over, but we do have 16, just over 16 coaches that would be needed. So your final answer needs to be 17 because we can't have part of a coach. The next one, from a different city, 13 coaches are needed. Each coach costs 450 to hire. Work out the total cost. So we're doing 13 times 450. So that would be a multiplication. 3 times 0, 15. You just need to be quick. Not quick, sorry. You need to be really accurate with this and confident with this method. If you're not sure, then practice it on Hegarty, but it's guaranteed to come up on your non-calculator paper, so your paper 1 in your progress exams and in your real GCSEs. So you need to make sure that the basics you're all over, you don't want to lose those marks. So I did 450 times 13 and I get 5850. Okay, put the 0.00 if you like for your pence. If we did have any pence in with any money answer, you need to have those there in. For this one, you'd have been okay for either. Okay, next one, 65% of 30, 300 even. We're going to work out, if it's non-calculator, we've got to work out our 10%, 5%, add them all up. If it's a calculator exam, then we're quite simply just putting in 65%, so shift open brackets, multiply that by 300, should give you an answer of 195. The next one, here is a cuboid. Work out the volume. Volume of a cuboid is your length times your width times your height. So we're doing 7 times 5 times 10, which will be 350, but we need to make sure we get our units on. So we've got 350 centimetres cubed because it's volume. All volume will be cubed. The next one, we're splitting an amount into a ratio. Well, let's try and visualise that. If we've got 1 to 9, we've got 1 to 9 there, so how many boxes do we have in total? In total we have 10 boxes and we're trying to split our 180 between them. So in each box there'll be 18, because 18 times 10 gives us that 180. So it's going to be 18 is one part, and then 9 times 18 will be 162, will be my other part. Question 5, we've got a little bit of standard form. So remember, standard form, we've always got a number between 1 and less than 10 as your first part, multiplied by 10 to a power. If it's a negative power, it's going to be a really small number. If it's a positive power, it's going to be a large number. So writing your answer as an ordinary number, we'll work out bit by bit. We need to split this up, so 3 divided by 4 is 0.75, 3/4, and we're multiplying, so I've done my integers first, 3 divided by 4, and then I can use the laws of indices, which I've just been doing in school these last couple of weeks, to work out my power of 10. So times by 10 to the 5, because we're doing division, we're going to take that power away to end up with 10 squared. So 0.75 times by 10 times by 10 again, your final answer would be 75. Question 6. Again, another topic that we should have been doing in class over the last couple of weeks, a combination of different laws of indices. So break it down and do a section at a time. If we're doing a division, we need to take away our powers. So we have here 3 to the power of 12 divided by 3 to the power of 5. So we're going to take the 5 away from the 12 to be left with 3 to the power of 7. That's all divided by, work out our other bracket, 3 squared times by 3 is going to be 3 cubed. So we've done each of those two brackets separate. And now we can put those together. We're dividing 3 to the power of 7 divided by 3 to the power of 3. So that's going to be 3 to the power of 4. Because it's asked us to work out the value of, we're going to want to actually work that out. So let's break that down again, do step by step. So 3 squared we know is 9. 3 cubed, we're multiplying that by 3 to get 27. So then multiply that by 3 again is going to give us 81. So 81 should be our final answer for that one. The question 7 at the bottom, we're multiplying out and simplifying brackets. You will have covered this last year. It is a key skill. We've got to just try and get on top of these and practice them to be able to remember. I always like to set these up in a grid because I find that we're less likely to make a mistake. So I've got x plus 5 along the top there, x minus 1 down the side. Multiply all those together, so I've got x squared, x times 5 is 5x, minus 1 times x is minus x, minus 1 times 5 is minus 5, and then we collect all our lights and we add all these together, so we're going to end up with x squared, 5x, take away x is going to be plus 4x minus 5. So that 4x has come from 5x plus the negative x, leaving us with 4x in total. I'm getting through these quite fast now. Hopefully this is helping just to recap a lot of these skills and making us a little bit more confident for our exam questions. This is a really common question, so working out a bank statement, and you may or may not have a bank statement, so it's good to just go through the basics of what all this means. We've got a running total, so we've got our starting balance is the amount of money in our bank account. And debits and credits do different things. You can usually see and work out which one's which if you do forget, but a credit is money going into your account. A debit is money that you're paying out. So a council tax is a bill, that's going to be a debit, so our balance should go down. A refund or a salary is money that's going into your account, so they should go up. And we've just got to work it out. It's just an addition subtraction question, but just try and figure out where we're at and what's the impact of each of these. So we've got a balance. We need to work that out. We've paid £189.34 and we've left with £72.09. So in our calculator, I'm going to add those two balances together. So if I add those two together, that gives us, in this top box, we should have 261 and 43 pence. Yeah, because if I subtract 189.34, we're going to be left with 72.09. Then we've got a refund. We're going from 72.09. This place here, we've been refunded an amount, and then our balance is £86.75. So we want to work out the difference of those. So I'm going to do 86.75 and take away the £72.09. So that one on that row is going to be £14.66. So if I add £14.66 to 72.09, that gives me my balance there. And then we have a salary that's added on. So I'm going to do £86.75, add on 1430.29. So the balance after they've been paid, your salary is just your monthly wage. So our final amount will be 1517.04, and that's your bank statement. The next one. It's wanting us the interior angle of a regular pentagon is 108, so it's told us that. Work out the sum of the 5 reflex angles. Reflex is over 180, so it's the whole thing we want. So to get what 1 is, I'm going to do 360, I'm going to take away the 108, because I know angles at a point total 360. So 252. That's what one of them is. I want 5, so I'm going to do 252 multiplied by 5 to get 1260. Okay, so that's the total of all of those reflex ones around my pentagon. Question 10. We have 56 customers pay for satellite television. They all have the basic package of £224.50 per month. Some also have sports and some have movies. The frequency tree shows the number of customers with each packet. In total, how much per month do the 56 pay? So, we want to break that down to get our total cost. We know what certain parts are. This is really testing, can you read a frequency tree, and then we're going to apply the cost. With anything like this, I think when this exam question came up, it was good 4 marks. So you're going to want to break it down. We've got 56 that are all paying the basic, so 56 lots of £24.50, 1372. And looking at our diagram, it's probably quite hard to see it on here, but you should have your copy in front of you. Some also have the sports package, so if they have sports, that one there, 21, we're multiplying that by £27.50. So, my calculator wrong then. £577.50. Then the movie package. So movies, we've actually got 2 splits here, because remember, if they don't have sports, they could still have movies. So I'm going to add yes to my movies on both strands together, or you could multiply them separately as long as you include them all. But we've got 14 and 8, so I'm going to add, there's 22 in total that have the movie package at £18. £396. Just make sure I've not missed anything. Got those ones, and so I'm happy with that. I want my total of all of them, all of the 56 people, so then I'm just going to add each of those values to get 2345.5. So just the point that I made on question 1, we're not going to leave, because it's money, not going to leave it as 0.5, we need to put that 0 in. So you need to have the full amount in pounds and pence. So even if it's a 0, let's add that in just so that it's in the correct format. Sometimes there is a mark for that. The next one, we've got Beth drives 200 miles. I remember this coming up as well. This was a tricky one and caught quite a lot of people out. We've got drive 200 miles in 4 hours. She drives the first 18 miles at an average speed of 36 miles per hour. Work out her average speed for the rest of the journey. So we need to think about our speed, distance and time calculations. We've been given the overall, but there's different speeds at different parts. So this first section, the 18 miles, we're going to work out how long that's taken us. So if we've done 18 miles at an average speed of 36 miles per hour, we can do our 18 divided by 36. That's going to give us our time. And this was on a non-calculator paper, if I remember correctly. So you've got the spot there that is a half. So remember that a half, or 30 minutes, has been used. Okay? So the 18 miles has taken up 30 minutes. We're then going to do, so we need to take that away from our total. So we've left with 182 miles in 3.5 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours, because we've used the 30 minutes up. So our calculation is going to be going back to our speed, distance, time. We're going to want to work out our average speed, so we need the distance divided by time. So we're doing 182, running out of space, divided by 3.5. That'll give me my speed in miles per hour. A little bit awkward with how that's set out, so I'm going to scale it up and I'm going to do a division. I'm going to take a little bit of this box here. So I'm going to do 1820 divided by 35. So notice all I've done is an equivalent fraction. Don't like the decimal, makes it a little bit more difficult to work in decimals, so I've multiplied both by 10 to get my long division. Then I'm trying to do 35 into each of these. You could have then cancelled it down a little bit more to get numbers that are easier, but I think we can probably work with this. So 35 into 1 doesn't go, we're going to carry that over. It's not going to go into 18, so we're actually doing 35s into 182. So on a non-calculator, I don't know my 35 times table very well. You can use a little bit of space to do your repeated addition. Okay, yes, we could cancel it down, but the way that usually people prefer is to do that repeated addition to work out. We don't have to go too far, because we're going up to 182, but we're going to get there quite fast. So I'm just adding 35 to each of these to get my values. 80, so 210. I'm going to stop there. I might need to add more later, but I've got enough to work with for now. I'm doing 35 into 182, remember, so I'm going up to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 goes in 5 times. My remainder from 182, I've got 175 is going to be 7. I'll write my 7. That works out nicely. That's going to go in 2 times. So my speed is 52 miles per hour. The average speed for the remainder of the journey to get that overall 200 miles in 4 hours, which would work out an overall average speed of 50 miles per hour, wouldn't it? But our first part we've gone a little bit slower, so that's why that speed's a little bit quicker to make that work. Okay, really difficult question that. Lots of different maths that's going on. It was worth quite a number of marks, so well done if you got through that. Our last one, so question 12, we've got Jim wants to buy 10 rolls of wallpaper. He sees these prices. What is the cheapest price for 10 rolls? So we've got a little bit of working out to do. We're going to want to try and work out what our cheapest offer is and get as many of those as we possibly can. So one way to do it is to do a comparable amount for each of them. So if we try to work out what a single roll would be for each, we can do that just by working out, dividing by the total rolls that we've got. So our middle one we have 34.50 divided by 3, which works at 11.50 per roll, and the last one £58.75 divided by 5 is going to give us £11.75 per roll. So our cheapest option is going to be the middle option at £11.50. We want to get as many of those as we can. We want 10 in total, so we're going to get 3 lots of that, which is going to be a total of £34.50. Sorry, £34.50 each. I want to multiply that by 3 to give me a total of £103.50. We've got 3 lots of 3 rolls, so that's 9. I want 10 in total, so I'm going to add on £12.50 to get my total, because I need the 1 extra to get 10, which is 116. You could, alternatively, if you didn't get that value for each one, you could try out your different combinations. What does 2 of 5 rolls cost? What does the 3 rolls? What does a 5 roll cost? And a 3 and 2 ones. You could do all sorts of different things like that. If you weren't sure on how to start, it's always good to write down a bit of maths, and you will pick up some marks as you go along. Okay, so that was the first one. Well done for going through that, and hopefully the next one you'll find easier. You can use this video to go through the solutions and try and apply that method to the next weeks, and hopefully as the weeks go on you feel more and more confident on what are quite tricky questions on the foundation homeworks and past papers. Okay, thanks for watching.